මේ දවස්වල අපේ වැඩිමනක් අවධානය යොමු වෙනවා දිවි මිනිස් ගැටුම කෙරෙහි. මේ පරිසර පද්ධතිය ඇතුලේ පාලනය කරන්න ආයතනයක් විදිහට මොන වගේ ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයන්ද ප්‍රවේශයන් දරගෙන තියෙන්නේ?
ඕම ඉස්සලා ඇතරම මේ කැලණි වැලි වැවිලි සමාගම ගත්තාම අපේ පාරිසරික තිරසාරාත්මක සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපිට තියෙන වැඩ කරන රාමුවක්. අපි ඒකට කියනවා සස්ටේනබිලිටි ෆ්‍රේම්වර්ක් එකක් කියලා. වැවිලි ශේෂ්ත්‍රය ගැන කතා කරොත් මේ විෂය ඉතාමත් පුළුල්ව සාකච්ඡා වෙන කාල සීමාවක අපි ඉන්නේ. පසුගිය වසර ගණනාවක් තිස්සේ පර්යේෂණ ක්‍රියාකාරකම් වල යෙදිලා ඉන්න Wilderness and Wildlife Conservation Trust අපි කෙටියෙන් කියන්නේ WWCT කියලා. ඒ ආයතනයේ ජ්‍යෙෂ්ඨ විද්‍යා Achara Andrew Kittle mahatmaya apit ekka randala inna. Can you please explain about the problem of leopard human conflict in relation to the plantations landscape, and what are the activities we have taken to minimize?
Yeah, sure. So we've been working in this area since about 2016 when there was a spate of leopard deaths that resulted from snaring incidents. So people laying wire snares, not for leopard, for wild boar, for barking deer, but they're indiscriminate, so leopards also get caught. So at that time about 10 animals were killed, so that actually is what drew us to this region, looking at the tea estate landscape. We were aware that there were leopards here, but didn't know much about it otherwise. So we have utilized remote cameras extensively in this landscape, and through that we've identified the ridge lines, the ridge tops in this landscape are key corridors that are connecting existing forest patches. That's where a lot of the cubs and the females are finding refuge. The males and all of the animals use a wider landscape as well, but those are kind of the key refuges and key corridors. So that's been our focus, is to try and preserve those, and working together with KVPL on the Elbedda Ridge Corridor, which is now established since 2023, which is looking at the ridge line that goes from the Elbedda Ridge up towards the northwest. We're trying to ensure that that ridge line maintains its integrity for movement of leopard. Okay. There's more to the leopard story though, of course. This is looking at two things. One is looking at leopard conservation to ensure that the population has connectivity, doesn't get isolated, can move in this landscape. The second thing is the leopard is an umbrella species. So the Central Highlands of Sri Lanka has the highest biodiversity of the entire country, and Sri Lanka is a very high biodiverse country, so a lot of biodiversity is here. So the leopard, by concentrating on leopard conservation, we can by default conserve a much wider biodiversity that use those same areas that the leopards use. So it's kind of a two-pronged way to approach things.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Andrew. Actually, you mentioned about the Elbedda Ridge Corridor, ERC. We can see the corridor that the relationship with Kalani Valley has WWCT, and at the moment, present context, what are the initiatives we both have taken? I think you are the best to talk representing Kalani Valley as well. So what are the initiatives we have taken collectively with the support of all the plantations of Kalani Valley plantation? Because if you take ERC, Elbedda Ridge Corridor, is more 100% is within Kalani Valley plantations landscape. So
Absolutely.
What are the initiatives we have taken?
Absolutely. So that is a key one, is the establishment of the Elbedda Ridge Corridor, which goes across 7 different Kalani Valley plantation estates. And that is basically a pledge by all of the landholders, which is Kalani Valley plantations, to ensure that no land use changes, nothing happens that will disrupt potential movement for wildlife, and it will ensure that remains as a corridor and a refuge. That is one key aspect of it. So we do long-term monitoring of this ridge with remote cameras to monitor the population, check on cub activity, and how long animals are remaining in the area, that sort of thing. Now, secondly, there's also education and awareness programs that we're doing in conjunction with Kalani Valley Plantations. So that's looking in school programs and trying to educate and make more aware people about the ecology of the leopard, the fact that it's actually really not a dangerous animal for people, and coexistence there's ways to ensure coexistence in the long term, because ultimately both leopards and people in this landscape must share space. What we see is that the leopards are using the same areas as people, but they're using them at different times. So in the night, the leopards come. In the daytime, people are there. So that's kind of how it works at the moment. So that's what we're doing also with Kelani Valley Plantations, ensuring that that school kids get made more aware and of wider biodiversity, not only leopard. Another key aspect here is we're trying to, on those upper ridge lines, improve some of the habitat quality by trying to replant native forest species. So we've had some students and people that have identified some of the plants that are in some of the remnant forest patches to determine which species to target. And we've identified some areas together with the Kelani Valley Plantations. And what we're doing right now is developing a plant nursery, which is in process, which will hold native plant species, which we can then plant in selected areas to buffer existing forest or just to improve the corridor integrity.
Okay. Actually, Dr. Andrew, that is a way forward strategy that the partnership has developed. How best that we develop this plant nursery to fill the gaps in this ERC, Elbedda Ridge Corridor. So, what are your plans on strengthening this collaboration with Kelani Plantation to take this initiative further, to add more value into the environmental sustainability of the country?
So I mean, these are the ways that we've talked about at the moment. I mean, what we envision for our trust, and the reason that we started the work that we started was to ensure the long-term viability of specifically the leopard population in the country. We estimate only about 1,000 adult individuals within the entire country, so that's not a lot. And so we want to ensure that in key areas that are especially unprotected areas presently, these animals have space and movement possibilities. So that's to try and ensure that these are long-term measures. So working together again with Kelani Valley Plantations on this. It's going to try and ensure that Elbedda Ridge Corridor is something that remains long-term, and supplementing it will hopefully improve the quality of the habitat for leopards and, like I said, for wider biodiversity that lives under the leopard's umbrella. And then furthermore, the education, the awareness programs, I mean, that is key for the younger generation. So they can grow up more aware of what's around them on the landscape, the wildlife, the importance of living with wildlife. Another key aspect is the watershed forests. These ridge lines are important for, upper ridge lines are important for ensuring that water is available through the dry season on the lower slopes. So it's actually good for even the tea industry as well. Yes. So those are all aspects that we're focused on, yeah.
The key point, living with wild animals in the plantation landscape. While we are helping to sustain this landscape, keeping the existing values and qualities of the wildlife and the environmental aspects is the key approach of Kelani Valley Plantations PLC. So the collaboration between WWCT and Kelani Valley Plantations, I think we have a way forward strategy. We have proven that we have a working strategy to take this initiative move forward. Thank you very much, Dr. Andrew, joining me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.